has a real possibility of knowing if we are alone in the universe. Scientists Martin Dominic and John Zarnecki published this warning. If we are not alone, then this will affect the way humanity understands itself, and we need to be prepared for the consequences. In various ways, Dominic and Zarnecki pointed out that if there were to be an extraterrestrial contact, the lack of coordination could be avoided by the creation of a world structure governed by a legitimate global political organization. The researchers also gave the reminder that at the United Nations, there is already an institutional mechanism which was created in 1959, dedicated to contact with other intelligent beings. The Committee of Peaceful Use of Extra-Atmospheric Space. The state members of this committee will need to put on the agenda of the UN General Assembly issues related to extraterrestrial life. In 2010, there was a meeting of the Royal Society to discuss this subject. The media reported that they had assigned an extraterrestrial ambassador, the astrophysicist Mazlan Othman, who had participated in the Royal Society and is the Outer Space Affairs Committee Director in the UN. The UFO expert of the British government, Nick Pope, explained.
The Royal Society had a discussion meeting earlier this year called The Detection of Extraterrestrial Life and the Consequences for Science and Society. And one of the questions asked was, who speaks for planet Earth? And Dr. Othman simply said, well, look, maybe the UN Office for Outer Space Affairs should have a role in that.
Which would mean her.
It would mean her. So I think what was an intriguing possibility.
In case of contact, who would speak on behalf of the planet? The UN and the Outer Space Affairs Committee, directed by Mazlan Othman, are the planetary authorities that come to mind. It seems that the UN doesn't want to discuss any preparations in regards to making contact with other intelligent beings yet. And they tried to deny that there is already an extraterrestrial ambassador, the astrophysicist Mazlan Othman. Let's keep in mind that at the UN, since February 2008, secret meetings have taken place regarding extraterrestrial life. Also, governments from all over the world are disclosing their files about the UFO phenomenon. In the meantime, sightings seem to multiply from all over the world. On February 23rd in Saudi Arabia, notable scientists and researchers such as scientist Stanton Friedman, physicist Michio Kaku, researcher Jacques Vallée, member of the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs Zahul El-Nagar, British specialist Nick Pope all formed a panel. The name of the panel session was Contact, Learning from Outer Space, a reunion that was clearly organized to discuss the subject of organized contact with extraterrestrial intelligent beings.
Well, I feel very good because I wasn't crazy when child. Now we see the many evidence. This is a journalistic evidence, but have evidence in the Roswell, but have physical evidence in implants. We have social evidence of this that changed because the countries opened the cover-up files in the past. Brazil, New Zealand, recently Argentina, maybe Mexico, and someday United States. Because this reality, it's impossible to cover up more. Then, soon, briefly, I wish to invite you to see again, watch carefully another video.
Recent events of the phenomenon show that at the United Nations, they are preparing a world message to inform humanity about the reality of the UFO phenomenon, a reality that has been hidden for decades. Currently, the scientists are spreading public awareness that we should prepare ourselves for the most important and transcendental event in the history of humanity: communication with other forms of intelligence within the universe. Now we present to you the global picture of events which show that humanity is getting ready for this contact. In 1999, the French government presented a secret report from the French Air Force called the Comet Report. Not only does it acknowledge the UFO phenomenon, But the Army also requests that the French government make changes related to the presence of other intelligent beings on Earth. In February 2008, at the UN offices in New York City, representatives from more than 20 nations met behind closed doors. They established a strategy for the acceptance of this phenomenon. A date was given, before 2017. In these secret meetings, important people such as the French pilot Gilles Laurent participated. He appeared on the official website of the European Air Federation. Archbishop Celestino Migliori, who is a permanent observer of the Catholic Church in the UN, also was present. Months later, in May of 2008, the Vatican was the first state to publicly accept the existence of other beings. Later, the governments of France, England, Holland, New Zealand, Brazil, Chile, and Argentina disclosed their secret files about official reports of UFO sightings. Also in Argentina, on December 30th, 2010, the Argentine Air Force, along with Captain Mariano Majo, announced that they would form a special committee so that scientists together with the Army could openly investigate the UFO files that had previously been confidential. Now the United Nations is preparing to officially name an ambassador with special abilities to coordinate an encounter with extraterrestrial beings, if such becomes the case. It appears that the extraterrestrial ambassador would likely be the astrophysicist Mazlan Othman. We must remember that Mazlan has participated in Royal Society meetings previously. Although the UN doesn't want to make this announcement public between the investigators and the scientists, they are considering the possibility that an ambassador has already been named by the United Nations. This way we can coordinate and prepare for contact with other intelligent beings within the universe.
Well, as you see, this is another journalistic evidence that the world is changing very fast. If the United States not open these reports, maybe it's not important that say in the morning the Minister Louis Farrakhan, because the evidence is all around. Then I think and feel that the nation of Islam are ready to this change, to this meeting, that's meaning exopolitics, the contact with another beings. Thank you very much.
Se la voy a poner ahí, sí. ¿Por qué no la cambiaste? Porque eso es lo que va. Ah, ya la tienes puesta. I hope you have enjoyed these presentations. As you see, it's very brief, very fast, accidental, but it's important because the information you received, you are going to think about it, you are going to investigate, and you will learn more from now on. Because this new reality cannot be hidden anymore. This belongs to our kids, to our sons, to our grandsons. This belongs to the future. We cannot continue destroying this world. We cannot continue polluting this world. We now need to use clean energy. We deserve, and they deserve, those who have been born deserve a better world. If they could, they would ask us to speak for them, and they would tell us, stop, don't continue destroying my world, because this belongs to me too, not just to you. I want to finish this presentation with some, what I consider also very important subjects. Probably messages. On July 24, 2009, accidentally a man in Chichen Itza, in Mexico, took 3 pictures. He was with his family. We test every picture. We found the witnesses there who could confirm that this was real, that they saw when the picture was taken and the picture was real. One of them was a very skeptic anchor in a television program in Mexico. Fight with me. But this time, he had to accept in front of the television cameras that this picture was real. And why is this so important? This is the family of this man, the two little girls, and suddenly he was realizing that there were thunder behind the pyramid, and he wanted a poster with the two young girls. And he tried to get the lighting, and he finally got it, but he got something else. And this is real. This is not fake. This was not made. This was taken and was observed by many witnesses there. If we consider that a new age is coming, 2012, not just the Mayas, but many cultures around the world are now establishing, are telling us that we are in the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. And this is part, what is happening here today, this is part of this new cycle. I haven't seen in my life ever someone so important as Minister Louis Farrakhan having the courage. He's a fearless man. And he's going to help to produce this change. And you are going to help to produce this change. This is a very exciting moment. This is a sign. Why this happened? It's like the pyramid has waken up with this ray of light to the sky, like an antenna. But it's clearly a message for us. It's the new light and the new beginning. And we can see that the world is changing right in front of our eyes. We made all kinds of tests, of course. We knew many were going to oppose this evidence. But incredibly, nobody has. Nobody has opposed to this real evidence. This was tested in Mexico, was tested in Italy and United States. And we have all the evidence that supports this. It is also very important, some of the messages that we are now receiving in the crop fields in England. Probably you heard that some more people are making this, but after 10 years of investigating there, we know now that they are absolutely real. And we have some formations and messages to prove it. On August 13, 2001, we had this formation. A human face, an alien face, 60 meters long, appear in the middle of the night. Can somebody do something like this in the middle of the fields? Then we use a filter. If you see the filter, you can see the shadow and the light of the face. It means that this is real. It's an alien face. He is telling us, he's presenting himself to let us know who was giving us the answer. Because on November 16, 1974, we sent this message 2,000 light years away. We expected to be answered in 50,000 years, but it was answered in just 27 years. And what did they tell us? They told us here that they have the same mathematics, they have the same elements of life, they have the same DNA, the chemistry of the DNA is just the same, which means we come from the same origin, from the same God. And they told us how they sent it through this, with this formation that appeared a year before. A year after, we have another incredible formation, 120 meters long, 80 meters wide. And you can see it's three-dimensional. Can somebody do something like this in the middle of the night? And it has a message. What it says: beware of the bearers of false messages and broken promises. Much pain, but it's still time. And this is the most important. Believe that good is still out there. And finally, we oppose deception. I oppose deception too. Years after that, we then had some so-called Mayan formations, like this remaining us, telling us that the calendar was almost at the end. This calendar that lasts 5,125 years, started 3,000 years before our era. Then a year after, they present this formation, and in this formation is very extensive to tell you, but it's a date. They are telling us here where we should watch from day zero. Day zero for the Mayas was the 20th of May, because that day the Pleiades, the sun and the earth align. But in 2012, they are going to be aligned with the center of the universe. It means that this is a post, a universal post. It's a mark. It's like trying to tell us that this is going to be very important, and also tell us here 16 days after is the transit of Venus through the sun. It means between the 20th of May and the 6th of June, and remember these dates, something is going to happen. But it's not something bad that is going to happen. Please don't be afraid. The world is not going to be destroyed. We are going to continue, but we have to change. That's the real message. And here we have a circle. This is also Mayan, a circle, square, and a circle. It's the way the Mayas represent the micro-universe and the micro-universe and the macro-universe. It means that what is inside is outside. What is up is down. What is down is up. What is outside is also inside. In 2006, the 15th of August, we have this formation, which means Lamat. Lamat means, in this calendar of the Mayan, the end of the cycle and the beginning of the cycle. Then we had, in 2008, a big cross, 300 meters long, 200 meters wide. For 3 times in 2008, we have these crosses. To become good, to be good. And in the last one, a message. And this message says, beware. And you know what it means, beware. In 2010, we had these incredible 2 formations, one of each side of a high road. And this is the first time we see something like this, because if you take both formations and you put one over the other, then you have what we think is the face of Christ. I think that was a message, but also they are everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Lately, we have seen these fleets at night in every single country. It's like they are announcing that they are coming. Moscow, Vietnam, London, Serbia, these formations at night. Pennsylvania. Is this a clear message? Cincinnati. This was recorded by U.F.O with 3 different cameras. Ukraine. Barcelona. And I could go on and on, but just to finish, this is Chihuahua, Mexico.